Hi, David. I just wanted to make this quick video in response to your request for feedback on the revised Riverview content. So I had a look and we definitely have made some progress, but there are still some areas of opportunity with the content. So I thought instead of sending you that Google Doc kind of with the different requirements, I can actually share a link to the editor so that as you edit in real time, you can kind of see how you're progressing towards hitting some of the goals with the content. So to give you some context on this, more context on this. So basically what we're doing again is trying to look at the top ranking websites and URLs for your target phrases, in this case, property management Riverview, and trying to see what are the characteristics that those ranking pages have that you don't. So basically finding that gap and then modifying your content so that that gap is filled as good as possible. So for this particular search, you'll see here you're at number 10, and we're doing a comparison against Hoffman Realty, RentSolutions.com, Dennis Realty Rentals, and RentItNetwork.com. They all have pages on their website for Riverview property management. You'll notice here I did not include Yelp in the analysis because it is a directory website, not a property management website. So it's pretty much in a different category. So it wouldn't be good for our analysis. It can't really skew the recommendations. Now, going back to the recommendations tab here, so there are three sections. So I'll go through each one of these. The first is content structure. So great job. We're right in the acceptable word count range. What we need to do, and well, really, as you make improvements, just something that you need to know is that this is actually a range. And for this particular search, this particular keyword, I should say, the max is 3,250 words. But I would say, just from experience, is that even if you're 10% over that, so 3,258, so whatever, so maybe that's about 3,600 words, just doing some rough math there. That would probably be your absolute max because you're still within that realistic target. But it's still much better than where we were before when we were at, I think it was around 4,900 words, which is way over the target and it's almost like an outlier. So if you have to add content, I would say stay, no more than 10% of this max max target. So headings, simply heading ones, heading twos, heading threes, and so on. So on the page now, you have 16, and the acceptable range is 22 to 39. So I would add at least several more heading tags to break up the content so that you are at least at the bottom portion of this range. The closer you can get to the max, the better. But I would just at least, starting off, try to get to 22. Paragraphs, you're fine. Bold words, I would skip over. I really haven't seen any impact that bold words have on SEO. And then images, not a direct impact on SEO, David, but I'm sure you understand when we're looking at content that's almost 3,000 words, images definitely make the content more readable, more scannable. And so you're not just giving website visitors a block of text. So for this particular search, they are recommending at least 9 to 20 images. And so I know you do have some images and video on the website. I'll also include video in this count. For this, I just copied over the text, but it's just good for you to know. So to hit that 9 goal, I would try to find other images that you have that are relevant that you can add to the page, or we can go out and buy licensed images of Riverview or anything related to property management, and add those to the page so that you're within this range. So that pretty much wraps up the first section here on content structure. Now, moving on to the second section, important terms to use. So I would say this is really important, and just a few things to note here. So the first thing you'll notice is that there are going to be some phrases here like property management review, which it may be difficult to get that to fit into a sentence and have it make sense. So in this case, you could switch the order. It won't count here, but Google will know that property management review, for the most part, is the same as review property management. So just something to keep in mind there. You'll notice here after each phrase, there's a number, then a forward slash, and then another number. So this basically, the first number here tells you how many times that phrase is within your content. The second number is the recommendation, the recommended number of times to include it. So for property, you have it listed 53 times here, and the recommendation is 68. So you see how this works in real time. If we type in property, you see that went from 53 to 54. So pretty straightforward there. And so I would just go through this list here and try your best to add in the phrases, the recommended number of times. Again, there are going to be phrases like rights reserved, where if it's not already included in a site footer, go ahead and add it or have your developer add it. Then name, email, phone, again, doesn't really make sense, so you can probably just skip over that. One more thing here, you'll notice some of these, they have exclamation marks in front of them. So for these, this is actually indicating that these phrases are overused. So you'll see here the number of times used is more than what's required or recommended, I should say. So in these cases, I would try to find ways to remove some of the instances of these phrases. So that's pretty much it. The second section in a nutshell. The third section, kind of similar to the second section, but these phrases, they're not quite as important. But if you can include these on a page, it's highly recommended. So another difference here is that you only have to include these phrases once. So again, including these phrases, it's adding more topical relevancy to the page, and just telling Google that your page is really related to this topic of Riverview property management. So again, similar to the second section, some of these won't really make sense. And I would say I saw one, name, email might not make sense in that order, so you might just want to skip over that. But yeah, try your best to include these as well. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. David, I hope this approach is a little bit easier than just sending over to Google Doc. If it is, great. We will go ahead and create the other requirements here in the software so that you can just make the edits in real time. And reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.